Yes. Next question.
Teresa Bouza, I am a foreign correspondent with EFE, which is a news agency from Spain. You're asking today for the U.S. to reopen its official investigation that was shut down in 1969. Can you please remind me why was that investigation closed, and how would that change things if they reopened it?
If any of you remember, there were congressional hearings back in 1966, and as a result of those hearings, the Air Force was kind of forced to do an external investigation where they had 11 panelists from the University of Colorado. It's called the Condon Report. And the Condon Report conclusions were written by Edward Condon, and the summary of the report, which was written by him, were totally inconsistent with the data of the report. But based on the summary from Condon, which said there was nothing to it, but if you sift through the 12,000 or how many pages there were in the report, you'll find that obviously some of the cases were explained, or easily explained, some were not easily explained, and some were not explained at all. So based on the summary of the report, they closed Project Blue Book in 1969. So that was one of the excuses they used for doing that. So Condon Report, but the summary, not the actual data.
What we really should be doing is what the English do. We should inculcate it into law that these things have to be investigated as a matter of law. There needs to be an official entity in the government where, just like if there's an airplane disaster, the National Transportation Safety Board sends investigators out, does the job, and issues finally, ultimately, a very definitive report about what happened. And it would certainly, I think, take a lot of the angst out of this issue if the government would just do that. And there really is no reason why they shouldn't. Where did that? Yes. Sorry, you're behind the bright lights there.
I was wondering, have there been any sightings on the African continent?
There's a pretty amazing case, actually, that happened in 1994 in Rua, Zimbabwe. And it was witnessed by 64, I believe, school children ages between 8 and 12 years old. And lots of multiple witnesses, and they claim to have seen a landed craft.
Yo creo que una de las características de este evento que lo hace diferente es que precisamente hace que ver que el fenómeno es global.
One of the characteristics of this event, it make open up to that this is a worldly phenomenon.
Los medios de comunicación hacen creer que solamente ocurre este fenómeno más en ciertos países y no en el resto del mundo.
The media make believe that this only happens in certain countries, but not in the rest of the world.
Así como en África, en mi país ocurren muchos fenómenos, sin embargo, estos no son conocidos.
Just like in Africa, this happens also in my country, in Peru, where these cases are not known. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Gary. Right straight back there.
My name is Gary Tuckman with CNN, and this question is for the governor and Mr. Callahan. I'm really interested in the motivations of the cover-up. And you addressed that, Mr. Callahan, is that the government is fearful, that the government doesn't want to scare us. But this really is a government that doesn't mind scaring us. We still have orange alerts and red alerts, and they scare us all the time. It keeps people in work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering why you think, and you just state that that's the reason and that's it. Is that really the motivation for a government that doesn't mind scaring us?
Inspector? I like calling you Inspector Callahan. I'm getting a big...
That's fine. I've been called a lot worse. You remember the air traffic controller strike where Reagan fired 11,000 controllers? And he brought in military people that just got out of the service, and some even got out early so they can come and help. And we had a few people left over that stayed in. Not all bad controllers walked out, and not all good controllers stayed in. Okay, so we had a bad system that we didn't know what to do with. And we're trying to train these guys overnight for something that normally takes 3 or 5 years, and we're doing this accelerated thing that was very scary. Part of the problem during that period of time was we had to make sure that the American public didn't lose confidence in air traffic and stop traveling from one place to the other. Part of my job during then was spin control. We had to send little Twixes out that says how great and wonderful we are and how the system is as good today as it was a year ago, and not to worry about it. Right after they put 2 airplanes together over California twice in 1 week, 2 mid-air collisions, we had to construct a Twix that says the system is safer now than it was a year ago, which was impossible. Well, we did that constantly. So, yeah, do they want to scare the public? I believe that's part of the problem. We in America, in U.S., are supposed to be the most technical country on the planet. How can we, as American citizens, say there is somebody someplace else who is more technical than us that can travel from one planet to the other when we're having problems getting across the country without running into each other? So there is a problem with the mindset. We don't want the American public to think that we aren't number one, and we want to make sure you understand that everything is okay, so we're not going to throw anything out there that changes that philosophy. It's a mindset that the government has. We're like Marines.
I'd like to just say one final word, which is that it's been wonderful to share this panel with these distinguished gentlemen, and I appreciate their personal courage in laying it out there in the public, their stories. It takes courage, and we all appreciate James Fox and Leslie Kean for everything that they've done to make this historic event happen and go so smoothly. So thank you all very much.
But if I had to do it again, I probably wouldn't have got that close. Okay? I probably wouldn't have touched it. I probably would have stayed a little distance away. That sort of concerns me, by the way.
And do you believe definitely have to be a UFO? You said it just started to blink again, the lights on.
I don't believe in UFOs. It's a craft of unknown origin. I don't know what
here it is, this is where we are, and this is what we're trying to do. I think the public now is old enough and wise enough that they can handle the truth. Remember back 40, 50 years ago at the Halloween, I forget that movie directed it.
No, I'm looking for something to work. Try to put it on today's newscast.
Ahorita. No hay problema, yo te lo puedo hacer. Que James te autorice. O James te autoriza, ¿no? Con James.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a problem.
That favor one religion over another.
Unfortunately, I just found out that Mr. Pope over here, there's a British MOD document on the scene today after 30 years.
Here it is, this is where we are, and this is what we're trying to do. I think the public now is old enough and wise enough that they can handle the truth. Remember back 40, 50 years ago at the Halloween, I forget that movie directed it. It did that Martians are landing on the radio and it scared the population.
Orson Welles, yeah.
Yeah, also, remember all those people that got hurt and whatnot? Well, that's the same thing we're afraid of. If they come out today and say that